I can't say how proud I am of our team. I think coming off of a layoff like we had and, limited practices for certain people, I just thought we were so resilient and tough, and we stuck together and focused on the right things. And we didn't get frustrated in the first half when things weren't going our way and we weren't scoring or hitting shots, and we were really turning the ball over. I thought we had great responses to things that were negative, and I think that was what allowed us to be successful tonight.
24 turnovers from Aztecs, and you guys came back 23 points. What does that just say about your team?
I think our defense was really, really good, and it was team defense. And I thought our rebounding was really good too, especially down the stretch, trying to limit them to one shot. And they have some really good players that are capable of stepping up and, getting baskets by themselves. But I thought collectively our defense was just an amazing team effort.
Roden and Hamilton both talked about how they thought that even though the break somewhat is detrimental, say, to men's basketball, but for you guys, it really was. They said that it helped them in some way with just the extra added practice time that they did get in. How do you think it helped or maybe didn't help?
I think certain individuals it absolutely helped because it allowed them to do individual work, really slow some things down, and use time for teaching that you don't normally get at this point in the season. And some of our younger players were able to take advantage of that. So I'm hopeful that it'll help them in the long run, because typically you're preparing for opponents and there's just not a lot of time to spend on some of the stuff we were able to spend time on. So I think in the long run it could really be a blessing. And coming out of this, everybody is healthy, and that's another blessing, because with COVID sometimes people have effects that linger. And right now I'm hopeful that we're past all of that and we have everybody back and everybody's healthy.
It seems like you guys have gelled together now. You found your rhythm and you're really taking this in stride. How do you feel that this team is and where they're at, and what improvements do you want to see, if any?
I think we are not where we could be just yet, which, for us, we want to be playing our best basketball as we finish up February and go into March. We want to be playing our best then. And so I think we can still grow a lot, especially offensively. I thought in the first half tonight, we didn't gel very well together. We were sharing the ball, but it didn't lead to anything. And I think we have to take advantage of the way that we're being played and exploit things based on what the defense is doing. Defensively, again, just continuing to play together as a team and try to take away the other team's strengths and make things hard. I think if we can keep doing that game in and game out, we can give ourselves a chance to win.
What was the message at halftime to really get them to spark them offensively?
The first thing I told them is that we were going to win this game, and I think going in there, they were pretty wound up. They really, they wanted to play better, and I think sometimes that can be really detrimental when you're just trying too hard. And so we talked about a few adjustments that we needed to make at halftime, and the biggest thing was them just sticking together and focusing on the right things. Had they gone into themselves and worried about what they were doing individually, especially on offense, I think that would have been really detrimental to our defense. And so I just credit their toughness, because I think it takes a lot of toughness to respond that way when you want something so bad and you're not getting it in the moment, especially when you haven't played for so many days and you've just practiced, and you go out and you're not playing the way you've been practicing. That's really frustrating for a player. And so I thought their responses were really incredible.
Coach, it was interesting. We had Deja up there, who's been on campus for 15 years, and Audrey, who's new and all that. And it reminded me that you guys seem to be meshing the age groups pretty well. Would you agree with that? It's not every team can say that.
Yeah, and honestly, our upperclassmen have welcomed the new players in. They treat the freshmen like they've been here the whole time. There's been no I'm a senior, you're not a senior type thing. And that doesn't happen without great people, and without Amaya, Nia, Kylie, and Deja leading the way, and Allie with that. They just make everybody feel welcome. And so I think that has given Natalie, Audrey, and Kiki confidence that they belong here, that they can play here, that they're part of the team. But we have phenomenal upperclassmen leadership.
And kind of going off of that, I noticed you won the bench points 17-5, which also doesn't always happen. And I'm sure San Diego State's saying, we have 5 bench points, that's terrible. But it must be nice for you to look down at that and say, exactly what I want.
Well, for sure. And I think we have people coming off the bench that could start for our team. Nia started most of her career, and Audrey is somebody that, without maybe some people that are on our team ahead of her, she's a starter too, and she plays starter minutes and contributes starter points and production. And Kenna, defensively, my goodness, she gives us so much energy and spark off the bench. and there's games that she plays starter minutes. So to have, 3 or 4 players that can come in and do that, you need that depth over the course of the season, and you're not just like relying on 3 or 4 people that if they don't play well, you don't have a chance to win.
I'm curious, kind of a macro question for you. You've mentioned a couple of times now just how proud you've been of the effort and all that. Is that satisfaction while you go into coaching? I mean, is that what you wanted out of coaching?
I went into coaching because I had amazing coaches, and I wanted to impact people the way I was impacted by people. That was the reason. And I loved teaching the game, like to work with someone and then see them transfer it and be successful in a game is so rewarding. And like helping them beyond basketball, like when they leave here, like every person that graduates from Nevada is going to probably do phenomenal things in whatever area they choose to. And so that's like amazingly rewarding. That, and when you get in pictures of their children and things like that, and you're still part of their lives, they're like always a member of your family. I mean, it's pretty incredible. I'm not sure there's another profession that's like that.
After the first quarter, I think we just kind of like stuck with things and like kind of didn't let anything affect us, and we just like stuck together.
What did you could go. What did the break feel like? I know you guys want to play. I mean, you're basketball players. You want to play, and no one planned on a 16-day break. Did that have anything to do with a little first quarter rustiness, or tell us what you saw on the court?
For us, both of us, we never had to be quarantined, so we'd been practicing the whole time. So we had just been like getting ready for San Diego State for like 2 weeks now, and so we didn't want to come out like slow. And I think we did a good job. We didn't do a very good job offensively, but I thought we were really locked in on the scout, and that's like really important. So just looking at it from a defensive standpoint, that's how we were going to win this game, and that's how we started it off. So I think that was good.
Is it safe to say that the pause, do you think, helped you guys with more time to practice, getting ready for these teams?
Yes and no. I feel like just like get us a break because we didn't have one due to like the games being back to back, and then like also us not being able to, us practicing like right after every game. But I think a positive is that we're like still able to come back and kind of like stick through it and kind of like didn't let anything determine how we played, like whether it be offense or defense, and kind of like just us having that break and that time off, like we still came back and was like locked in.
Would you overall, I mean, is this a defensive win? Do you think overall, give it to the defense?
Yeah. I don't think our offense, like our shots were just going in and out. Like I don't think that we took, like there were some shots like when we get tired down the stretch, like we would just like shoot quick shots. But I think like whether it be individual shots, like I think we took the right shots. They just weren't going in, and that's just for everybody on our team.
Do you feel like everyone is starting to figure out what their role is and really zoning on that? Like shooters know when to shoot, and more defensive players are sticking to their role of being good defenders?
Yes. I think for the offensive end, we do have like those players who have the green light and are able to basically take over when it's time. And then for defense, I do think that we do have those players as well that, like, obviously Ali, she kind of like guards our best player or the best player on the other team. And then we have like other players who like fill in that role with like Amaya, stuff like that. So, yeah.
You guys are an interesting blend right there of younger player and older player and all that. Now, I think that's been a key for you guys, the mesh, the good mesh this season. Would you guys agree with that? Doesn't matter how old everyone is, just getting everyone involved.
Yeah, personally, I was coming into this program knowing I was going to make an impact, but knowing that Deja is going to be my role model. Like, I'm going to learn from her because we do play the same position. She's my mama. But yeah, I knew that she was gonna be someone I was gonna be able to look up to and learn from. Just the way like I was always like only a 3-point shooter, and now I feel like watching her and learning from her, I've been able to like expand my game a lot.
It looked like, Audrey, when you went to go take when they told you were gonna take the free throw in the technical, you're like, I don't want it, and they're like, no, you're gonna take it. was just there do you feel like your team is really just starting to gel together and really helped you guys just connect now that you're roughly halfway through the season?
Yeah, I do, personally. I think we're doing a good job of giving each other confidence, and nobody ever takes away confidence. Nobody ever says like that was a bad shot. Like you shouldn't have done that. It's always you're good, next play, like encouragement. So